Hi, my name's Robbie from the training department here in Decatur, and today we're going to talk about inspecting and treating for German cockroaches. First off, let's take a look at some of the tools we're going to need to start our inspection. Number one, and most importantly, is our cook's flashlight. Without our flashlight, we're not going to be able to see them hidden areas. We also need to incorporate our inspection mirror along with this. Something we need to keep in mind upon entering a customer's home is that we are wearing shoe covers in respect of their property. When I approach this customer, so I'm going to ask them some key questions like, what kind of problems are you having? What time of the day are you seeing these issues? And where are you noticing these issues to lead me to that problem? Once I've asked some of these qualifying questions, I will proceed with my inspection, first letting the customer know exactly what I'm going to be doing. Ms. Jones, I will need to be opening cabinet doors, need access to different things. Will that be okay? Is there anywhere maybe that I don't need to go? Respect that customer's home. As we start our inspection, I have my flashlight and my inspection mirror, and something I do want you to notice that I am wearing my IPM belt. On my IPM belt, we will talk about that for just a second. Included on my belt, I do have at least one aerosol holster, okay? That way I can carry whatever product I think I may need at that time. Preferably, in the field, I would keep 2 of these on me. I do have my Doxum PDS, or my precision delivery system here, for when we are getting into that roach baiting. I'm also going to have 2 of these Max Force IPM bags. People use these for different purposes. Me personally, I always kept one for trash. As I'm moving through an account, I will be picking up and replacing zone monitors. I don't want to dispose of them in the customer's garbage. I want to be able to take them back out to the truck and dispose of them properly. My other IPM pouch, I may have screwdrivers, extra pair of gloves, and zone monitors as well. Some other things you'll notice on my IPM belt is my bulb duster with my bulb duster pouch. Inside, we may be dusting voids, things like that. I have my bait gun and holster. Normally, I would recommend in your bait gun and holster, you will notice 2 bait slides here. I want to be prepared for any issue I may walk into in that home. I always say it's best to keep at least 1 cockroach bait and an ant gel bait in one of these holsters. That way you are ready for whatever you may encounter. So as we begin our inspection, me personally, I like to work my way to the left or to the right of the home. That way I'm seeing and inspecting every issue. Remember, we follow a 5-step IPM process that begins with inspection, identification, sanitation, exclusion, and treatment. We will be going through each one of these steps as we go. Starting here in our kitchen around our stove area. Some things we need to pay particular attention to is our vent hood for one. These roaches, these are warm, dark, hidden areas our roaches could congregate in. Our clocks here, we have at times seen roaches get into these appliances in our clocks. Any dark, hidden, warm area is where we need to really focus our attention. Remember the pest triangle, food, water, and shelter is what they need to survive. So really focus and pay attention in them areas when you're performing your inspection. Don't be afraid there again to move stuff. We will ask you when you're doing an inspection to be comfortable moving stuff, and we've done talk to Ms. Jones, letting her know what we'll be doing in her house, how this inspection process is going to work. Now, when I ask you to move stuff and search thoroughly, one thing I don't want you to do is move an appliance like our stove here. Moving any type of appliances could cause damage, one, to the appliance itself, to the structure that we may be responsible for. So let's not move appliances. Now, we do have our inspection mirror. We should be able to easily inspect in and around these appliances. Now, some things about your stove here. We mentioned the vent hood up in this area that we need to take a close look at. Around our clock here and behind our stove. Also, a lot of these electric stoves, the top will raise like that. We may take a look in there as well. Down underneath here, this is actually called your bread warmer. A lot of people will store pots and pans and different things in here. It's a good idea to open this up, use our inspection mirror to kind of inspect back under them areas that we can't see. Now, as we move on, we need to be opening cabinets up and down here. All right, so we're going to start right here in this area. We're going to start opening our cabinet doors, taking a look, using our inspection mirror and flashlight. There again, just to see in these hidden areas back in here, all the way around. Remember, not every home that you walk into that contains German cockroaches will always be a major infestation. It usually starts off as a very low infestation, which sometimes can be very hard to find. We need to make sure we're doing a proper, very thorough inspection, utilizing our flashlight and inspection mirror everywhere we go. Going back, we spoke to the customer and asked them some key questions. One of the things I may have asked that customer was, when are you seeing the activity? I've had customers tell me in the past that they wake up in the middle of the night, flip their kitchen lights on, and see roaches begin to scurry. And maybe they're not seeing them in the daytime because during the day, these roaches are hiding. Roaches are nocturnal, which means they do come out at night and feed. Most often on a low infestation, they may not be noticed during daylight hours. Be sure that we are doing a proper, thorough cook's inspection. Let's take a look inside here. And obviously, we can see some issues with sanitation. We've got a bag of cat food that's open. We've got dog treats spilled. A sanitation issue that we need to talk to that customer about. So when I'm talking to a customer about sanitation issues, I want to approach it in a polite way, in a polite manner. I want to also take them and show them these issues, where they at. I want to make some recommendations to them. So Ms. Jones, it may be best to pour your cat food or your dog food into plastic containers. That way you can seal them off and keep them stored that way to prevent issues like this from occurring. Anything that can compete with our baiting process needs to be eliminated. Along with speaking to the customer about these issues and showing the customer these issues, we also need to use documentation. Document these issues that you discuss with the customer. Exclusion errors as well. Sometimes during our inspection, maybe you see daylight coming through a doorway. That's something that we cannot fix as a cook's technician, and that's something that needs to be discussed with the homeowner and documented in our notes. So now let's go ahead and start our treatment. Okay, so during our inspection, we did identify some German cockroaches in our cabinet areas. I knew they was German cockroaches by looking at the 2 dark stripes on the pronotal shield. Now, I'm going to begin my treatment by baiting these cockroaches using our cockroach gel bait loaded in our bait gun. Remember, it is important to rotate through your gel baits to prevent bait aversion or bait resistance. So, knowing that we started with this bait, if it was Max Force, Avion, what have you, we need to be sure we know that and be able to rotate through those baits. As we're putting our bait placements out, we want to place our bait placements directly into roach harbor areas. In other words, anywhere I'm seeing German cockroaches, I want to begin with baiting. So inside of our cabinets here, I did notice some German cockroaches. And I'm going to start with baiting. One of the things I've seen in the past is technicians will bait the outside of the hinges. Remember, we do not want to put bait placements out in customer's view. We want to put them in hidden areas, out of sight, out of mind. So maybe back in here. So out of sight, out of mind, out of customer's view. I want pea-sized spots, which is about 1/10 of a gram, about every 12 inches apart. The larger the infestation, the closer them spots can be together. Now, something we need to remember as well is, where did we put these bait placements? We will be following up with this account. We will be changing this bait out. Keep in mind that roaches are nibblers. So there again, we tell you to place pea-sized spots every 12 inches apart. Going any larger than that can sometimes cause that bait to dry up and become inactive. Be prepared and remember where these bait placements are. When you come back for their follow-up, re-inspect if there is any old bait placements there. Be sure we have a way to remove them and place new bait in maybe a different area. Along with baiting, we also need to use Gentrol IGR. Gentrol is an insect growth regulator that will affect the growth of these roaches. It is a non-repellent, which means roaches moving through the environment will not suspect it and will come encounter with it. We want to make sure that we do have our red applicator straw when we're applying this in cracks and crevices around the home in areas where cockroaches will intercept it as they move throughout the environment. Gentrol does provide a 120-day residual, and in about 2 weeks' time, you will start seeing the effects of Gentrol. You will see adult roaches with curled up wings and different deformities that will let you know your process is working. Another tool you have in your arsenal to help you battle these German cockroaches is your Dachshund Precise Delivery System, or your PDS. In the back of your holster, you will have a spare 9-volt battery. Now, when replacing this battery, make sure first your PDS device is off. The bait canister is removed if there is one. And just under the top of your PDS system, we need to remove this little screw. This will let loose of the top cap where our 9-volt battery is placed. Each bait device in these will give you approximately 5 grams of bait to apply. Inside of your holster, you also will have an extension straw that will help you get to those cracks and crevices a lot easier. Your extension straw will be applied to the front of your device. Make sure your bait is intact. Flipping the switch to on, now we can start a crack and crevice treatment. Dachshund Dry Flowable is a dry bait, and it can work in multiple ways. Roaches find and feed on this bait, and as they move throughout the home, they pick up this dry flowable bait on their footpaths, and as they groom themselves, they will ingest it as well. Dachshund provides a longer residual and does not dry out like your gel baits will, and can be used very effectively in high heat areas. Okay, so I got my PDS device switched on, my bait canister in place. Let's demonstrate how to properly apply this product in the cracks and crevices around the home. Starting right here at our dishwasher. Holding the trigger down for 5 seconds will approximately apply a 1/10 of a gram of bait. With that application, I've applied approximately a 1/10 of a gram, which would give me 50 bait applications out of 1 cartridge of bait. Dachshund should be used in rotation with your other cockroach baits. Remember to set follow-ups for any account with roaches approximately every 2 weeks or until we gain control. Let the customer know this is not an overnight fix. So let's set those expectations. Discuss and document any sanitation issues. Rotate through your cockroach baits and be sure each visit to remove any old bait placements, and you will be successful. Thank you for watching.